Hello everybody, it's Sarah and today it's finally getting colder outside. Which is really nice because 20 degrees Celsius is too hot for the middle of November, at least in Vienna. Today I'm going to be talking about this book, which is The Sea Wolf by Jack London. And it's about a guy who is shipwrecked near San Francisco and he finds himself suddenly on a sealing schooner headed for the coast of Japan. I actually still have about 50 pages left of this book, but I decided against filming a review, although I already know that everybody who loves pirate stories, who loves adventure stories, should go and read this book because it's amazing. And this is the first time I felt the need to kind of annotate a book, and the reason why I suddenly felt the need to write in a book, which I usually don't do unless it's for uni, is because of a certain character called Wolf Larsen. And he's a very strange character. He's the kind of character where you think he's evil. He's at least not one of the good guys. But if he explains your motives to you, his philosophy, at least for me, I can't find it in myself to disagree. It doesn't mean I would act the same way as he does, but I can certainly see an appeal in his way of life. To honor this character, I would like to name some characters who are similar to him, who made me feel the same way. The first character I would like to name is Jem from Jamaica Inn by Daphne du Maurier. Jem is a criminal, but he's not a bad person. It's difficult to explain him. I think he's a good person, he just doesn't care about the conventions society puts on us. And this would make him a bad person in the minds of most people, or in the eyes of most people. But for me, it just makes him a really interesting character. Next, I have almost everybody from this book, which is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. The concept of this book already is kind of trying out something different, a different way of life. I can't really tell you any more about the characters and what exactly makes them so appealing, because that would spoil the whole book. Next, I have A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin, and I couldn't quite decide between Tywin Lannister, Daario Naharis and Melisandre. And I crossed Melisandre off my list because she's a religious person. She has this huge religion behind her, and so even if the things she does do not fit into our moral codex, it's still, she has this society. She doesn't act out of a society. And then Tywin Lannister was crossed off my list because even though he just acts for his own good, I feel that all the characters on my list, or most of the characters on my list, have just this love for life and for living. And I don't feel that Tywin Lannister has that. And Daario Naharis has this. And of course he's a mercenary, so he already lives outside of society, kind of. He has a profession that many people look down on, and he doesn't really care what others think of him. And he really just wants to kill and fuck, if I can put it that way. At the same time, he has his very own moral codex and code of honor after which he lives. Then, and I still can't find the book, and it bugs me so much, I have Dorian from The Picture of Dorian Gray. Again, I thought about mentioning Lord Henry, but while Lord Henry is the one who puts all those ideas about life and about how to live life into Dorian's head, I still don't feel like he lives after those ideas. He still lives within the borders of what we would consider okay. But Dorian, he just crosses those borders completely, and again, he's a person who loves life, I feel, and who just wants to live life in a way that's pleasant for him. And he doesn't really care about the lives he destroys along the way. And I feel like I've said life like 100 times right now. And lastly, of course, I have Wolf Larsen. And Wolf Larsen is a very interesting character. He is just the captain of a sealing schooner. And he never went to school, but he still taught himself how to read. He taught himself how to write. And he started reading all those works of philosophy and science and mathematics and just everything. And from each philosophy, from each book, he took the parts he liked, and from those parts he built his own philosophy, his very own, well, after which he lives. And what interested me the most about him is he says that life is the cheapest thing on earth, and that life is overestimated because the thing that gives life its worth, that tells us that life is worth a lot, is life itself. So it can only be overestimated. And at the same time, he's so full of a joy of living. And he says, of course, life is the cheapest thing, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to live. I just thought that controversy was really interesting. That's it for this video. And tell me your favorite immoral, alluring characters. And tell me what you thought of The Sea Wolf if you have read it. And I hope I'll see you soon. Kiss kiss.